beautiful day, joyful day. This is Karen Michelle with Loyalty Royalty Recovery, surplus funds, all of that. I am just overjoyed to be even doing this um, video for you guys, and I'm not going to have camera on because that doesn't matter. I just want you to just take a moment, sit back, pour you a cup of water, coffee, whatever it is that you like to drink just to relax. And I just want you to listen to um, the story that I'm going to tell you. And I just really hope that it lands somewhere in your spirit, somewhere in your heart, somewhere in your mind that will help you execute a plan and putting a plan into place. So first, let me start off by introducing myself. My name is Karen Michelle, and I started this YouTube channel about 3 years ago. And the reason behind me starting this is because my husband and I have been in the surplus funds business for about now 7 years. But at the time, we had been maybe experience wise closing deals for like maybe 3 years, going on 3 years. And we sat down with one of our mentors, Rick, the wealth coach, and we had a chance and opportunity to speak with him about what we do in surplus funds. And after that long conversation with him, he had suggested that we start teaching. And so of course, me being who I am, I was like, I don't think I have enough experience enough to just teach people how to do this business. I need to, learn a little bit more, get a little bit more familiar with things. I don't know about that, but you know what? I'll take that. I'll take that in a big consideration to do that. So, that's kind of just to sum up a little bit of why this YouTube channel exists and why you're here listening. So, just so you know, just a little bit about my background, I grew up in a single parent home with my mom and my sister, and I didn't have it easy growing up. Um, we had financial challenges. There were times where my mom could not. Um, Provide certain things for us. Um, I can go all the way into details about a lot of things, but I'm not going to save that for another day. But I didn't grow up, I guess it's that quote that they say, I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. And so I had to get it out the mud. So I've always had that energy and that thrive in me um, to go after my dreams and go after things that I was passionate about. And that's something that I truly, honestly pour into my children because I want my children to have what I didn't have. And same for my husband, both of us, we want our children to have what we didn't have growing up. So that is, our why. And so while you're sitting there, and if you have a pen and paper near you, I really want you to just start writing some notes down and just put why at the top of your paper. What is your why? Why is it that you want to learn surplus funds? Why is it that you've stumbled across this channel or other people that are teaching surplus funds on YouTube? So start jotting down some of your whys, and I want you to use that as your foundation to move forward with the execution plan of how you're going to dive in to this business. Okay. So, again, a little bit about our background. Of course, we met with our coach and he told us to teach. But before we even got to that part of our journey, I remember, and I shared this story in previous videos on YouTube, but I remember my husband and I, we were both working dead end jobs. He was working little odd end jobs, warehouse jobs, going through temp agencies. And I was at a school where I was working with the special education. And then I eventually, what I saw and thought was a promotion, I got promoted to one of the in school suspension teachers, instructors. And so, anywho, we were both just, in that rat race of just trying to figure things out financially. Like Can we look up 10 years from now and is this exactly where we want to be? Is this where we really want to be? Because if so, we in a whirlwind of trouble. This is just not going to work for us. So my husband, he had already kind of started diving into YouTube. And y'all, I'm telling you, YouTube is like your biggest tool right now to use. Um, that's why you're here right now. And that's why you're under the sound of my voice, is because there's something about YouTube. And if you really just focus, keep yourself focused and really determined on changing what your life is right now, then you're going to figure that out. You're going to learn something different on YouTube. So he dived into YouTube and he came across surplus funds. First person he came across was, I believe, Bob Diamond. If not Bob Diamond, then it was Shun Bougie. And then after watching a few of Shun Bougie's videos, he came across Nick Fulmer. And so he was just diving in, just listening to the information and just trying to figure out, how can I transition from this rat race into making surplus funds recovery the thing for me. Like, this is like my dream. This is what I want to do. And so, again, we were going through financial challenges. So we didn't have the extra income on top of what we, on top of bills. We didn't have the extra income to purchase $4,000 courses, $5,000 courses, $10,000 courses. And so it was, like, okay, well, what are we going to do? um since we don't have it, what can we do? Well, all we can do is just really at this point just really sacrifice our extra time, invest in ourselves, and just really burn the midnight oil and try to learn as much as we can, do research, just kind of start putting the pieces together and just try to figure this out. So I remember when the pandemic was coming, it was almost like, to be honest, it was almost like it was on a red eye flight to the United States. And it was like hilarious, but it wasn't, but it was just like, it's just so funny how anyway, we're just going to stay focused because I can go down a rabbit hole and take you down there with me and have you really thinking. But um, it was just funny how, it was on its way. And my husband, he just kind of made up in his mind. He was like, you know what? If this pandemic is coming and they're getting ready to shut everything down, I'm not going to sit around and wait for them to fire me or let me go. He was like, I'm going to just go ahead and go home now. And so I'm looking at him like, oh my gosh, no, okay, wait. Can you at least get another check or two underneath your belt before you come home? And so I go into like a financial panic mode. And he quits his job. And I remember those, what do you want to call it, those moments where your stomach is just in knots and you're just sweating bullets and you're like, I don't know how this is going to happen, but Lord God, whatever God you pray to, okay, Lord God, I'm going to just hand this over to you, and I am just going to build onto my faith. That's all I have left right now, is my faith. And so long and behold, everything shuts down and he's already home. So that time that he utilized for when he quit his job to when they shut things down, it was almost like maybe a 3 or 4 month span. So he was like surplus funds all day. He was listening to it from morning to night, notes, spiral notebooks everywhere, notes everywhere, sticky notes everywhere. Just trying to piece things together, calling the county, trying to figure things out on his own just by the information that was put out there. So I was still at my job, and I really didn't have to quit my job because the simple fact with me working for the school district, um, they had already like told us, hey, we're shutting things down, but we're going to continue to pay you guys until they open things back up, which was good for me because now it gave us at least one stream of income in the home. So that still wasn't enough. It still wasn't enough for us to really invest into the surplus funds business. So now I'm home, he's home, and now we're having to make some really tough decisions. And I remember the conversation that we had. He said, Karen, look, We're not coming home to turn on all these different streams and watching movies and laying up and, just hanging out and chilling. No, we're going to utilize our time wisely. And because when everything opens back up, we need to we needed to have already transformed. You get that? Write that word down, transform. Um, it was time for a transformation with this downtime that we were getting ready to go through. So we dived deeper. We went into some other learning from other different people, different areas. It wasn't necessarily surplus funds, but it had a lot to do with finances and private banking and wealth building and all of that. And so a lot of the people that we were listening to just keep our spirits up, just to keep positive and just stay focused was Eric Thomas. And we listened to, again, Rick the Wealth Coach. We watched um, the legendary, my friend, my brother, my friend, Les Brown, Jim Rome. Um, uh, we didn't discover Bob Proctor until later, but jot some of those names down, okay? Because I'm gonna tell you why those people play big part, a big part in your success in this business. So, of course, we got into everything and we started making phone calls. And, I'm not gonna bore you with this long story. Again, I have shared our story numerous of times on here on YouTube, but I felt compelled today to really just kind of give you a brief overview of how we got started in the business. Now, it wasn't easy, and I'm not going to tell you that it's easy. It is a sacrifice, and it is something that you're going to have to want for yourself, and not just want for yourself, but want for your children's children and for your family. Don't come into this about you, and no, you. This is like this right here. This business is like something that is shared amongst your family and your loved ones. So you know getting past a lot of the hurdles and um mistakes and time spent into this business, um we ended up deciding, hey, let's get under some mentors. Let's find us some mentors. Let's find us some coaching. Let's see what's going on. Let's see who else is working this business. Let's see who else is talking the surplus funds lingo. So my husband jumped into a few groups that were out there, free groups on social media, and he dived in and met a few people there. And my way of jumping in was I actually went into our county records and I started looking at different cases that had already paid out the claimant. And I said, let me see what companies are closing these leads out. And so I saw the company, and I believe, I don't know if I found a number or maybe I just found the name of the company. And I believe my husband went and Googled it. And literally, I stepped out for a moment, went to go plant shopping. And it's just so funny how I sowed that seed before I walked out the door, just holding on to the faith that we had. And I come back and my husband's on the phone with the guy over this company that has been closing deals in our county. And so we all have a conversation, and a long conversation. And by the time we get off the phone, he's now our coach, our mentor, he's family. um and he's like, here, I'll help y'all if y'all really want this for yourself. If you really want to dive in deeper into this, if you're going to put the time in, the effort in, I will help you. We were like, yes, yes, yes. So we would get up early in the morning, jump on the phone with him because he was on the West Coast, so we were, on the West Coast, time. And we were, coaching, and he was providing us with scripts and, like intensive coaching, like really getting us through the hurdles, like all that extra stuff that we didn't really have to do. He was getting us past that, like getting us around it, saying, hey, instead of doing this, do this. Instead of doing that, do that. That is exactly what we needed. So we continued to put the puzzle pieces together. And again, my husband, he had met a few people out in some social media groups, and then he ended up meeting someone and having a conversation with him. Now, to this day, he is our business partner. He is our back office. He is our everything. He is like everything to us. He is family. He has come here to Dallas with his family, and we all met up in the park, had a great time with each other. We talk to him almost, if not every day, every other day. So just to have that, mentorship and that coach relationship with people is so important. It's so important to have community. Write that word down, community. It is so important to have a community that you can lean on, that you can um, have hold you accountable. You know, I don't think either one of our coaches now will allow us to walk away from this business. I don't even know why we will walk away from this business. Not 7 years in, there's no reason to walk away from this business at all. But I'm going to share that story later in another recording, how I walked away from surplus funds. And when I returned back with, I came back with so much thrive. And that's a whole nother story. Let me tell you, okay? I'm talking about a deal every month. Like, we'll talk about that later. But you have to have that community. You have to have community. And a lot of people want to, they get into this business and they don't have coaching. They don't have anyone to mentor them. They don't have anyone they can talk to if they have questions. You have to, see if anybody's maybe doing a free Zoom or something, or anybody's providing any type of free coaching. But even when you get into these free coaching programs, you're still not really, you're still not getting the answers that you're needing. You're still not getting the resources and everything that you're needing to execute the plan that you're needing to execute. So now that leaves you stuck. You're stuck still trying to figure it out. No one to talk to. I have no one to talk to about surplus funds but my husband. Well, he's right here with me, but I have my coaches too. So that's what community is. So now, why we are here today, why you are here under the sound of my voice is not by coincidence, okay? You are listening to this for a reason. If you've made it this far in this video, if you've made it this far, you're here for a reason. And what I have come to learn and notice about this business is we have had so many students come through. And at the starting point of them coming, I'm going to give you the maybe top five, maybe the top three reasons that they give us of why they haven't got started. I don't have the funds. I don't have the money. I am working a 9 to 5 and I'm barely paying my bills. I have no extra income to pay for a course. I don't have any money to pay for a class. I don't have money to pay for coaching. I don't have anything. What now? The second one is, I've heard about this business. I've bought this course. I've bought that course. I've gotten this course and this information, and I'm still confused. I'm still lost. I don't know where to get started at. I still have so many questions. Where do I go from here? I don't have anyone to talk to. No one's answering my questions. I can't even get my hands on leads. I can't even talk about leads right now. I don't even know what I'm doing with the first part of the information. Then the third thing is, I don't know. I don't have anyone to close my deal out. I really don't. I'm not really all the way 100% sure of what I'm saying to the claimants. I'm not really like 100% sure on if I'm explaining everything correctly. I'm not 100% sure if I'm looking at the information correctly. I don't even know if there's a surplus there. I don't even have the agreement form to send out. I don't have an attorney. I don't even have leads. I don't even have leads. I found something off of this site, and I mean, I don't know how 100%, I don't know if it's all the way accurate. I don't know. I have so many questions, but nobody to talk to. And I remember that feeling when we first started, because we didn't just start and then got mentors and coaches. No, it didn't happen like that. It was maybe 2.5 years into the business before that even happened. So my husband and I, we sat down one day and we said, what can we create to piece some type of coaching and mentorship, maybe like an incubator coaching, so we can save people time, all the errors and the all the our blood, sweat, and tears. How can we put our blood, sweat, and tears in a bundle to save people time in this business? What can we do? And so, being the people that we are, and I say this all the time, I look into my husband's eyes and I tell him all the time, I said, we are cut from a different cloth. Okay. We're not like everyone else. Not saying that we're better than anyone, but we're just different. And we honestly believe there's room at the table for everyone to eat. And this business is not oversaturated at all. Not when I just closed 3 deals just like a month ago. And I felt good. That was my comeback. Oh my God. Can I just pause for a moment and just talk about my comeback? Because my comeback was spiritual. It was a spiritual comeback. After sitting down and oh my God, let me tell you this. Oh I'm like, I got chills right now. My comeback was so spiritual. After rubbing elbows and meeting Eric Thomas while I'm at dinner, I talked that man into existence. I was talking about him so hard to other people, like, yeah, have y'all heard of the motivational speaker, Eric Thomas? Have y'all heard? And I look up at a restaurant. Me and my husband went to go, our favorite restaurant where we went to go eat at. I look up, I said, babe, is that I'm tripping. Okay, yeah. Is that Eric Thomas? He turned around, he said, let me go check. Like, with giants. That my comeback was spiritual. It was spiritual. And that's why I was able to close 3 deals last month. Okay? So what I'm here to tell you is that get into a community where you have someone that is going to coach you and mentor you. Now, don't get it twisted with coaching and mentoring. Don't get it twisted thinking that mentorship and coaching is like you have 24/7 access to them. No, no, no. I want you to write that down right now. Mentorship and coaching does not mean 24/7 access, meaning when you call them, they don't have to. No, 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 no. That's not how that works. Okay. Because they're busy. Okay. Mentors and coaches are busy. They still have to do what they got to do to keep afloat. Okay. So write that down. Okay. Having a coach and a mentor is going to help you create and build your foundation of this business. You have to start there. You have to have a foundation. Now, yes, you have all this information. You've been listening to videos, watching videos for about a year now, 2 years. This may be your first time ever hearing about surplus funds. I'm glad. If so, go back and listen to another video where I explain surplus funds, okay? But you still need to hear this one too. Now you're like, what? next? What do I do? And what I honestly believe is we sometimes get caught up, and I had to catch myself when we first started. Oh, I don't have an LLC. Oh, I don't have an 800 number. Do I make phone calls from my phone or do I get another number? And I don't have a CRM. I don't have I don't have an attorney. I don't have this. I don't have that is where you're going to find yourself just creating excuses. And you're going to create so many excuses, you're going to scare yourself out of doing this business. You're going to frighten yourself so hard that you're going to just say, you know what, I don't want to. If it's going to take all of this, I don't. I'll go find something else to do. And that's a poor excuse right there. That is lazy, and that is not going to get you anywhere. Why? Because this ain't the first time. You probably have done this. This is like repeated procrastination. This is like a repeat of you procrastinating through a lot of things in life. When it don't come easy, you just kind of give up. Right? All right. So listen. Stop creating the excuses. And I want you to go ahead and write this down. Write down every excuse you've told yourself of why you could not continue with this business or why you have not dived in deep into the surplus funds business. Write down every excuse. Now I'm getting somewhere with this. While all the information I'm telling you to write down all those excuses. Because we're going to, by the end of this video, we're going to overcome that. Because that's something you made up in your own head, right? Nuh-uh. You made that up. Okay? So, with all this said, I'm excited that we have created our coaching class where we are actually really creating a space for you to really evolve in this business, to really take off. Yes, you do need to know the basics of the business. That is the most important part. You have to understand what surplus funds. You have to understand what a surplus is. You have to understand judicial and non-judicial. You have to understand what a tax foreclosure is and a mortgage foreclosure. You have to understand the process. You have to know how to do certain things. You have to at least get that part down. Everything else is like, really, that's the icing on the cake. Calling people is like the easiest thing. And I used to trick myself out of calling people. I was like, oh, I don't want to call people. I'm a people person. Don't get me wrong. I'm a people person, but I guess what fear I put in my heart and in my mind was that I don't know what's on the other end of that phone. I don't know if I'm gonna get cussed out. I don't know if they're gonna hang up. I don't know. You just don't know what's on the other end. But we put these fears and these doubts and things in our mind. And so that's what's gonna play out, right? That's gonna play out. Fear, all the fear, oh, they're not gonna answer, oh, they're gonna cuss me out. All that plays out. What you're thinking is what's gonna happen. But what if you was to take that fear, throw it out the window, and say, I'm going to be positive. I'm going to be loving. I'm going to be understanding. I'm here to serve. I'm here to help these people. What if you replaced it with all positivity, positive affirmations? What if you did that? What do you think your outcome is going to be? Write that down. What do you think your outcome is going to be if you took all the negative thoughts, all the negative comments, all of that negativity, and you just threw it on out the window? And you're going to replace it with the power of positive thinking. You're going to start listening to motivational speakers before you go to bed. When you wake up in the morning, you're going to start praying. You're going to start speaking positive affirmations to yourself. You're just going to turn over a whole new leaf. Because I can go back and tell you stories about me. Okay, I have not always, until this day, I still struggle and still fight. I fight for my soul every day to be positive. We're human. It happens. We're not perfect, okay? I have messed up many a times where I have found myself going down that negativity path, and I have to go and pull myself by the ponytail and be like, girl, if you don't stop it, pull yourself together. That ain't it. That ain't it. That ain't it. That's not it. Don't do that. And I have seen my life when I'm in a more positive mindset, and I've seen myself in a negative mindset. And if I had to choose, I want that positive because I'm happier. I'm excited. I'm thriving. I'm working hard. I'm closing deals. People are answering the phone. People literally want to talk to me. I'm building a rapport. All of those keywords I just said, building a rapport, write that down. You have to, in order to build a rapport, I sure heck hope that you build a rapport with some positive energy. You're not building over, you want to build a negative rapport? Go ahead. That claimant ain't gonna call you back, nor respond to your text messages. You know? So I understand we have this business here and we get so caught up in having everything structured and set up before we make our first phone call. But we forget everything else. We got to work on us. We are serving people. We are coming into people's lives at a traumatic time. We are assisting them with mental anguish. We're assisting them with a hard part of their lives that they did not expect. Them. People don't sign up to be foreclosed on. People don't sign up for this. Homeowners do not sign up to be foreclosed on. So you have to understand what people are going through. And sometimes if it's not the homeowner, it's the it's the heirs that may have inherited the estate or the property. They're busy over here fighting with their sisters and brothers and cousins and aunties and uncles. You ain't nothing. You got a degree and you ain't got no degree. Your degree ain't spit and this and this and this. They over there fighting. So now you come calling them. They gonna reflect all of that they arguing about on why you calling. No, I can't get everybody together. No, I don't talk to her, so I ain't calling her. But I want to get my money. If I own her, okay, can I get my money? You just again, you don't know. You never know what you're getting ready to walk into. So you have to be mentally prepared. It so just for a moment, take all of everything out. Everything that you've learned, take all of that out. Forget about the CRM, forget about the leads, forget about having the proper paperwork. Forget about all the 1-800 number. Forget about having a website. Forget all of that. Work on you. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be your frequency and your energy that's going to reflect in that claimant saying yes or no. That's all you need. You have to be in tune and aligned. So what if you don't have the paperwork? Let's go back to community. That is why you have a community. That's why you get somewhere into some type of coaching and mentorship program where you have a team that is behind you, that's going to help you, that's going to provide leads, that's going to give you coaching bi-weekly, that's going to give you one-on-one coaching once a week, who's going to help you close your lead out, be a second voice to your calls that you're giving out, who's going to provide the paperwork, who's going to provide the attorney, who's going to provide the back office to do all of that so you ain't got to worry about it. All you have to focus on is just getting the claimant on the phone and getting the claimant to say, yes, I would like to move forward. And if I had to sit here and tell you that every claimant that answers the phone will say yes, I'll be lying to you. And I'm not here to sell you on no fluff, no smoky mirrors. because every call does not go like that. You're going to have to follow up. You're going to have to build a rapport. Write that down. You're going to have to follow up and build a rapport. It's not one, two, three. It don't happen like that. I have chased claimants up and down the highway, through the woods, over the river, and through the woods. To grandmother's house we go. I have chased them, meaning, and I'm not saying in the physical chase them, but I've had to call several times because they'll go missing. They won't return your phone calls. They won't return your text messages. Now you a stranger after y'all just had a great conversation about their surplus and money due back to them, and I can do this and my company can do that, and we can have this over to you, and you done had this whole conversation. And they go missing. It happens. But with our coaching program, I love how we structure this and how we built this, because we really go and dive in deep into how the power of following up, the power of building a rapport. And I'm going to give an example. One lady I'm working with right now to get her family closed out. It's probably about 6 of them. And we had a great conversation, and we've been following up. And when I text her, she texts me back. But this last time I text her, and this is like just the other day. And right now here in Dallas, we are experiencing snow, sleet, sleet, snow, sleet, sleet. Okay, let's just say that because we don't get snow here. We get a whole bunch of sleet, ice, and then we'll get some fluffy snow to go on top of that slick ice. But in my mind, I'm like, everybody's home. No one has gotten out in the past 2 days. So I know she's home. I know she's not busy. So she's kind of gone quiet and she hasn't returned my text message. But I don't let that deter me, because the simple fact, I know that she wants to work with me, but people have a life, y'all. They're not going to you are not on their vision board every day. Yeah, they know the money's there. Yeah, they going to get it when they ready to get it or when they ready to move forward. So I don't bombard her. When I text her, like when I text her the other day, I didn't bombard her with, hey, can we go ahead and get you signed up, or can you? Mm-mm. I text her and I said, I pray that you are staying warm. Do you see this sleet coming down? If you have to get out, please be safe, but I pray that you stay put. Didn't say nothing about a surplus. Didn't say nothing about it at all. That is the power of building a rapport. Do not have commission breath. Do not start sounding desperate. It will start to reflect, and that will scare people away. Okay? So I've given y'all a lot of information here. And like I said, I felt compelled to do this because God just put it on my heart. He said, go out and just talk to y'all. Because I know there's some people on our channel. I know there's some new people on our channel. This is like my comeback, y'all, okay? Because I know I've been gone for a while on YouTube. And I mean, I was like, boom, boom. I was like putting videos out almost every day on YouTube. And then it kind of got quiet over here because I started focusing on some other things, because surplus funds is not the only thing I do, but it is my meat and potatoes, okay? So stay focused, okay? So, yeah, I mean, this is like my comeback. And I'm going to continue to bring positive videos and content to YouTube, because I really truly believe that this is what a lot of you need to hear to get that motivation up and thriving, to really take over this year. It's 2026, okay? You played all of 2025. You came up with every excuse of why you couldn't dive into this business. Even in 2024, you was kind of watching videos and like, do I want to do this or do I want to do that? You can get with this or you can get with that. You was just lingering against, you was leaning against the fence. You was just kind of like, it's 2026 now, okay? It's 2026 now. It's time to dive all the way in head first. So what? So what if you don't have everything? So what if you still have questions? Find you a community. If it's not us, that's fine. Because what's for people is what's for people. People learn from different people like me. And there's some people my husband loves sitting down listening to and learning from, stocks and stuff like that. He listens to this one guy, and I'm more like, I'm gonna listen to Wall Street Trapper. It's like, we learn different from different people. So if it's not us, get under someone's coaching and mentorship so you can really bloom and take over. There's so many people out there that are waiting for you to call. Not me. They're waiting for you to call. Because what's for me is for me. When I get a claim to answer the phone, that was aligned. That was God sent. Like it was meant for it to go down like that. So it's the same thing though for you. So many claimants out there, so many people that have lost their properties to foreclosure are waiting for you to call. You. Yes, you. So I hope this information has helped. I'm so excited that I was able to do this and take time out. Again, it's snowing, it's sleeting, it's whatever you want to call it here in Dallas, Texas. So I have nothing but time. Okay. And I love to talk. I have the gift of gout. I will talk, 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 and will not get tired. So I could go on, but I'm not. I'm going to stop here and I'm going to allow you to collect your notes. And I want you to make a decision. Okay. I want you to make a decision today on what are you going to do and how are you going to move forward in executing the plan. You didn't stumble across surplus funds on accident. You're not listening to this video on accident. This was aligned. And if you don't see that and recognize it, then you may need to kind of fall back and take a moment and really meditate, because a lot of us are in our 9 to 5 jobs and we hate the job. Oh my God, we hate it with the passion. I remember my last night, my 9 to 5 before I started working at the school. I was working at a home health agency. I would literally go out to my car during lunch and I would scream at the top of I would turn my radio up loud first so people couldn't hear me screaming. But I would turn my radio up really loud and I would scream and I'd be like, I hate my job. I hate this. I don't want to work. No, no. I hate this. God, it's got to be something different for me. I won't be able to do this in my 40s. Lord, is this going to be my life forever? I would scream at the top of my lungs, crying. It was miserable for me. Now, for those they love their job 9 to 5, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. But those that are in that rat race of they 9 to 5 and hate it because you don't get to spend time with your family, you're never home, you live in paycheck to paycheck, you can't take a vacation because days like this, like what we're experiencing now, my husband and I was talking about this earlier, days like this, we've been snowed in the house since Saturday. And they said the school gonna be closed Tuesday. And I hope and pray to God between now and Tuesday that this stuff melts or they're gonna be in this house on Wednesday. And think of all those people that have to take off for work because they have to be there with their kids, right? So now you're using all your PTO, your vacation time. So by the time June, July roll around, you don't really have enough time. You make and fit a small, it ain't really even a vacation. You make it fit maybe a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and have to be back at work on Monday situation. Ain't that's mental anguish. And what I've experienced with this business is freedom. Freedom to be with my family, freedom to travel whenever and however and whenever we want to. Literally, before this storm came, we were on our phones like, okay, well, we need to go somewhere where it's warm. We need to get out of here. We did that last time. We actually flew out of here and went to Vegas in 2021. But this time around, we were like, you know what? Let's just stay home, stay focused, work, do what we need to do. And then maybe we'll just take us a vacation after all this is done, you know? So That's the freedom of this business, to be able to be there and pick the kids up from school, to be here to take them to doctor's appointments and dentist appointments, and just always being available, not having to ask anyone for time off, not having to beg, ask to go to the restroom, not having to ask when can I take my lunch. That stuff kills me, man. When I'm walking around Walmart and I hear the employees talking to the store manager or the whatever positions they have out in there, I just laugh at it. But it's a mess. But not laughing at them, but I'm just like it's crazy. Um, what time do you want me to take my lunch? You not gonna tell me when I can put a banana in my mouth. You not gonna tell me when I can sit down and bite a sandwich. Nope, that ain't happening. That is crazy. So that's it. I just wanted to share that with you. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Today is Monday. Yeah, Monday, the second day of the beginning of the week. It's Monday. I'm going to give you by Wednesday. Make a decision of how you want to move forward. And be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself and consider everything. Consider everything. But one thing I do not want you to consider is those excuses that you've been holding on to. It's time to let those go. All right? All right, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to y'all at a later time. Oh, before I forget, I'm going to try to put this up as soon as possible, but I am actually doing a coaching call tonight at 8 o'clock. So it is January. What's today? Let me look at my phone because I want to make sure I'm giving you this information right. Today is January the 26th, because I know a lot of people are going to come back and watch this video like weeks and days and months later. But today is January 26th. If you are under the sound of my voice, I will be doing a coaching call tonight at 8 p.m. It's not too late. I will actually put that link at the bottom of this video so you can click that and jump in with us tonight. And if there's any lingering questions that you have, or you just want to get some help or whatever, I am available to speak with you. Okay. All right. Talk to you all later. Bye.